Good morning. This is video number 3, an introduction to installment B and modules 5, 6, and 7. The next modules and cases 5, 6, and 7 introduce you to 3 foundations of corporate social responsibility analysis: property and social contract, stakeholders and particular NGOs, and environmental monitoring. In Module 5, we introduce you to property and social contract, beginning with property, which we define as any right or power, legal or otherwise, claimed by a group or organization. And there's been in the United States and Western countries a dramatic proliferation in the assertion of property rights over the last 50 to 100 years. And this is occurring more recently in developing countries as well. The assertion of property rights by groups external to business is often set against the traditional rights of business management to manage the business in the manner they see best for the shareholders of the firm. Historically, challenges to the rights of business have traditionally begun with employees, focused on the right to organize and bargain collectively as it began more than 100 years ago. Then came assertion of rights by customers to information and product safety and other related product issues. As it has evolved, rights claims have focused on a whole range of issues and groups that claim rights. For example, today there is wide-ranging as claims for the rights of unborn wildlife, the rights of women in the workforce, and a whole range of issues, and so on. And we'll treat many of these rights issues in this course. Business is not alone in demands that for new rights by various groups. American universities, for example, have students demanding the right to avoid what they call microaggressions, which refer to speakers, texts, and viewpoints that might make certain categories of students uncomfortable. So related to property is the idea of social contract. We define social contract as the relationship between a social organization and its members, which define mutual expectations, rights, and duties. So rights give rise to an assertion of a different kind of social contract for the business enterprise. So when we look at the business and society relationship, social contract focuses on what are the claims, what is their origin, what is the power and legitimacy of the expectations of the groups that are demanding things of the enterprise. So we can summarize the social contract for the business firm in a modern economy as follows. Formally, it is still the limited economic contract of early capitalism, defined by 3 key relationships between the business firm and shareholders, employees, and customers. However, as with property, over the past 100 years or more, this contract has evolved to where the traditional contract is being constrained by laws and regulations, and also by unwritten social and cultural demands. The result today is a formal and informal bargaining process in the public domain in which the business firm has to engage with a whole range of what we call stakeholders. And this process takes place in the marketplace, in the media, in the public policy making process of government, and in intellectual circles, people writing in books, journals, and at universities. From a managerial perspective and the perspective of this course, the goal is to understand how the non-economic factors impact business decision-making and how they are manifest in new property rights and a revised social contract for the business enterprise. We want to know what the new stakeholders want from us and from our businesses, and are these expectations reasonable given our fiduciary responsibility to the firm and to our shareholders. So each of the cases in this course can be summarized as a clash between the business firm and management's definition of its rights in social contract, and the assertion of conflicting rights and associated social contract definitions by external actors, or what we refer to as stakeholders. So in Module 6, we go into more detail about this idea of stakeholders. So we refer to stakeholders as any actor, internal or external to the firm, which has a legitimate stake or claim in business decisions. These would include, of course, internal to the firm, employees and unions; externally, suppliers, customers, but also local communities, local governments, national governments, and non-governmental organizations and other community groups, and the interests that they represent. From the business point of view, we're interested in not only who the stakeholders are in a given case, but also what is their mission, what is their power to affect us, and what is their legitimacy in society at large. So what are the goals of the stakeholders as regards our particular case? How likely are they to use their power in the given case situation? Will they act and devote their scarce resources to this situation? And how do we respond to those stakeholders in a manner that still protects and maintains the integrity of the firm? So in this course, we pay particular attention to two categories of stakeholders: NGOs and government agencies, or what we call public policy makers. Module 7 focuses on environmental monitoring. It poses the question, given the multiplicity of stakeholders and issues that confront the firm, how does the firm keep track of the ever-increasing demands on it? If it is done in a systematic manner, we refer to this process as environmental monitoring or environmental scanning. So environmental monitoring represents the collection of environmental information in a systematic way, what we call reading environmental signals, and then bringing that information, those signals, into the organization in a systematic way so that they can be analyzed and integrated into our policy and decision making. We characterize these external signals along three dimensions. First, the strength of the signal. What is the probability that the event that the signal portends will in fact occur? Second, what is its timing? If it does occur, will it occur in the near term, in the next year, month, next day? What does it represent in terms of timing? And finally, what is the potential impact on the firm? Great or small? Does it represent a threat, or perhaps does it represent an opportunity? So our broad priority in sum is before the firm can begin the process of formulating a strategy on how to respond to environmental challenges, it needs to collect good information, bring that information into the organization in a systematic way so that it can understand the property and social contract issues that are involved, understand the stakeholders who are championing these issues, and what is the potential for these issues and stakeholders to impact the definition of the firm's social contract and thereby impact its policy and decision making. If you want to get a sense of this, pick up any daily newspaper, and maybe you people students don't read newspapers so much as I do, and you can easily identify the signals in the general business environment that could impact any enterprise. I just did this morning, and I came up with a half a dozen issues which could potentially be cases in this course just in reading the New York Times. So again, this is an introduction to modules 5, 6, and 7, installment B. I hope this is helpful for you as you prepare for the next phase in the course. Thank you.